some torches and stuff like that. Shattered stained glass kind of on the beachfront, but yeah. What do you do?
Is there anything of use?
What do you need?
There
That's
she
a discipline.
goes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I'll be right back. I gotta get my pizza.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions so far about the layout? I can describe more if need be.
I kind of remember Willa and Trig going off into the woods already, or are we going to backtrack so we're all in the same place?
You guys had started and then probably stopped and went to like kind of see where everyone else was because Tara and Mira were still on kind of on that beachfront, like watching Sarah go out into the ocean, and then no one else saw the mermaids. It was just Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
They were all kind of hidden behind the rocks and things like that of the lagoon.
Sorry, my thing froze up, and I didn't hear any of the answer or what you
I
just said.
didn't. No, you're fine. You're fine. Willa just asked kind of where she was positioned. But the question I asked you was, I was like, what are you looking for? Like, what could you want? Oh no.
She would think would be needed. Like, did you just hear what I said, or did it cut out? Because my thing keeps acting up.
All I heard was looking for things that she might have needed.
Okay, yeah, just basic stuff that could be used for survival.
Really, it's just a lot of broken debris. Not there's barely anything is intact from the destruction of the cyclone.
Okay.
But anything I do.
So, what are we gonna do, guys? I mean, we're sort of stuck here for the moment being. And it currently isn't on fire, so that's helpful.
I don't think we're on the same plane of existence, technically, I think.
What do you mean?
What the mermaids talked about some flow that used to connect the worlds.
What
Yeah.
mermaids?
I met some mermaids out in the water. I wasn't out there like bathing or anything. There's just some mermaids out there. They said that there's Indians in here. There's like fairies. I think we should go talk to fairies, of course. And everything seems inland. There's also pirates. I didn't ask if like they're cool pirates, but pirates maybe they could help. Maybe they're not like actual pirates. It could just be like sailors, and they're like, oh god, pirates, because mermaids, like fish for them. Eat their tails.
Okay, but what about a different plane of existence? Where are we?
Did they tell me?
No, I don't think they did. I don't think they said like. Well, they might have. We're gonna say that yes, they did. They said they told you that this is a place called Neverland.
Okay. We are in a place called Neverland. Obviously, we landed, so it doesn't make any sense at all. But this place seems like an awkward place that we have to find a way off, obviously. They said the slipstream has dried up, which is that river I talked about. And they didn't say the Jolly Roger could fly, did they? Okay.
Oh, they also did mention that there is someone on the island named Peter Pan, and that he has been gone for 4 sunsets.
I say this. There's also a dude named Peter Pan. He's been gone for a minute. I don't know if he's important or anything, but there's Indians, pirates, fairies, mermaids, a Peter Pan. I suggest we just mosey on in and see who we first contact and ask for help off this place, I guess, since the slipstream is dried up.
How could a cyclone, a tornado, take us to a different plane?
Well, you remember how we portaled that one time with Jupiter? I think it's the same kind of laws and mechanics of magic. That's my best educated guess. It's kind of like sucked up that way.
It wasn't necessarily your typical tornado either. It was induced by some magical means of world ending. So who's to say it doesn't just bamf everybody else somewhere else?
There's others here. If that's the case.
It swept up some of the people of Salem, not just us.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to say that it would pick us and not somebody else if they got caught in the wind?
Well, what should we do? Where should we go? How do we get back? Do we have to go back? What if it's safer here?
What do you mean, what if we go back? We have to save our friends. Elliot, Cal, everyone.
Are you sure they're still alive?
We won't know unless we check.
It's worth trying. That's our home.
It was just a thought.
Mira's gonna sort of like clap her hands together. It's like, well, let's go ahead and. I mean, only two options are jungle or stay along the shore. Which, if there's pirates, I'd rather not risk them being bad pirates, and they're most likely to be by the shoreline.
I never knew a good pirate.
So back in the jungle then?
Yep.
Great.
So y'all are heading into the jungle? Okay. So there are these large leaf plants at the edge of the jungle that reflect the sun rather than soaking it up. Their dark green surfaces are sparkling in the sunlight. Some of the smaller ones have like low-hanging fruit, like jewels almost out of a fairy tale. Behind those is this extremely inviting path into the jungle with these giant white shells as stepping stones. And rather than the muggy, like dense-filled forest of jungles from Jianzhou and the Maharaja jungle, it's more of a temperate environment. In the distance, you can hear the tinkle of water splashing from some sort of height as you make your way down this path of white shells. Everywhere you look, and in this area, there are these like giant flowers and lilies, and it's very floral and fruity smelling as you traverse your way through the rainforest. You journey down the path, winding around this boulder into a little clearing. It's sandy but padded here, and there are like tuffets of like emerald green grass and clumps of purple orchids. It's almost like a desert island version of a perfect little meadow. And then you hear this snap. It sounds like a horse rider's like whip across the jungle path. You can't exactly tell which direction it was coming from because it kind of reverberates throughout the tree. What do you do?
What do you think that was?
I have no idea.
Mira has her crossbow out and loaded. Just
Willa's gonna look around towards kind of where they're currently walking, where they like just walked, behind them. And can I roll investigation?
Sure.
11.
11? Okay. So, you start to look through the jungle, but it's hard to discern exactly where it was coming from, but it's definitely close. And then you hear something come from the underbrush of the leaves of the jungle that says, "No grown-ups allowed."
No grown-ups?
And then out of the clearing steps the speaker of these words. It's a strange little fellow. He's short and fat and is clear and crystalline as a blob of like molten glass. His head is like misshapen, oblong, kind of on top of his body. There's a peaked crystal hat sitting on top of his head, and he holds a sharp spear. The only color on him is his eyes, which are strange, like orangish tan, almost like two butterscotch candies pressed into the face of a snowman. He repeats himself, "No grown-ups allowed."
I don't see any grown-ups, do you guys?
I don't know. We're not grown-ups, are we?
"You are all old. The time of parties and balls and weddings and husbands has commenced."
I have no husband.
Neither do I.
No way.
I do like the party though.
You should not be in here. This is not in Neverland. No grown-ups in Neverland. No fun killers. No bringers of pain and boredom. Get out!
Oh, I'm gonna like lean over. I'm in lots of fun. I can show you fun.
No.
We can party. Dance.
No, you make the days long. You make the food terrible. You make us go to school.
That's not true. You're the one that seems not very fun right now.
Because there's grown-ups here.
If we're grown-ups, how could we have gotten to Neverland anyway?
Grown-ups can exist in Neverland, but they're not allowed here.
Okay, then how do we get out of this place?
You go away now. Forever. To the
How?
forever place.
That. How do we get there?
It reaches its arm back towards its spear and starts like trying to defend itself as you guys try to approach it.
If you tell us how to leave, we'll leave.
We're
Go back
lost.
the way you came.
We didn't come here on purpose. We got dumped here by a storm. We're trying to find a way back.
Young fellow, what if we make you see that we are not grown-ups?
I already know you're grown-ups. Don't lie to me. Grown-ups always lie.
I'm not lying. I am not of marrying age yet, and I don't know, I thought I looked young,
No
but
matter how you look.
does it matter how I look?
You are old.
What do you consider young then?
Under the age of 13.
Oh. Well, I suppose that you are correct. We are
Yes,
older
we are
than
old.
13. But we're not exactly those grown-ups that you've learned about or had before. We're not exactly boring and slow and make you go to school and all of those nasty chores. We're not like that.
Can't trust you.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Tara?
I'm Puppin.
Puppet?
Puppin.
Oh, Puppin. Well, we don't know how to leave.
I'm not going to help you with that. Just get out of here.
Okay,
Alright.
well, okay.
Here's
You know-
that puzzle.
We could have had fun, but since you decided not to, I'll just have to take my pan flute away and not play music at all.
All of a sudden, you see that in a quick succession, this black, shadow-like dart of energy, like a snake or something, like a wild creature, zip across in front of you and surround, like go through your legs, and it crashes into Puppin, and you hear this crack. Then you see Puppin's mouth hung open, and it just lets go of its spear. It's starting to crack, and the fractures all fall apart, and he crumbles into crystalline dust.
What is going on here?
No idea. Is that a basilisk of some sort?
It didn't look like any animal I knew.
No, and Puppin was weird too. I've never seen anything like that before. I don't even know if it was human.
Who knows?
The real question here is, do we keep going forward, or do we want to risk pirates? Because if they all look like him, I think we could take them.
I don't really like being in the jungle, but I don't really like pirates either.
Could it possibly be that since we didn't leave, we did this to him?
No, that wouldn't make any sense. It was that thing, that shadow, whatever that was.
Maybe that's why he was warning us to get out of here.
Mira, can you roll investigation check or perception check?
You said perception? Perception, correct?
Yes.
That is a 17.
Out of the corner of your eye, almost for a fraction of a second, you see a figure standing just below the underbrush of the jungle. It's human-shaped, but it looks to be black and void of anything, with wispy kind of smoke coming off of it. It reminds you of someone from your past. It reminds you of Bronwyn.
Look, okay. Mira's going to instantly shoot it with her crossbow still out.
So it disappears. Like it's there for a fraction of a second. You shoot your crossbow off into the distance, and the arrow like sticks into the tree of where that figure once was, but it's no longer there.
Jumpy?
I'd suggest we move because I really don't like this spot right now.
Do you think we should go back to the shore?
Forward or backward, anywhere that is away from whatever that black thing was.
Why? What was it?
I don't know. All I know is things are moving around us, and it's not natural, and things that should not be there are there. And let's just keep going. And she's going to like start not running, but briskly walking, just further down the path.
Well, let's follow the leader.
Yep, okay. Don't have to tell me twice.
Kara, roll a perception check.
17.
Similar to what I described for Amira, except this one's a little bit more haunting. This figure stands just along the forest line. It's a shadowy-looking creature. The only thing that you can see are just white, empty-eyed pupils of this black figure, and it looks floating behind her. Looks like a wedding veil that just kind of eerily floats behind her, and then it disappears, just as Mira's shadow did as well, and it reminds you of Melanie.
She's gonna gasp and kind of stumble closer to Willa. Okay, yeah, I think Mira's right. I think we should keep walking. This place is starting to freak me out.
What do you mean? There's nothing here.
I don't know. I think I saw something. Let's just keep moving.
Okay. Willa pulls out her her bow after Mira and both Tara start to get a little freaked out.
Okay. So you head deeper through this path of white shelled stones, and go past the meadow. There are some low-hanging trees and vines and things like that. And then, Willa, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
17.
So there is this dark shadow hanging from the tree. It is like crouched down on a limb. The shadowy figure, a little thicker, a little taller than normal, and for a brief moment, it looks like your father, Braska.
Tara?
Are you seeing it too? Something? What is it?
It's my father. That can't be.
I don't think it's real. We have to keep moving. We need to go catch up with Mira.
Okay.
By the way, Mira's probably like, depending on how fast you guys are going, she's like probably way ahead of you guys.
So,
Sarah's probably last and like hanging from the vines, is walking on the tree limbs. Like, this is the best.
can you roll acrobatics for me?
I love to. There it is. At 18?
Yep. So you're able to do that. Kind of just swinging, and of that, the vines and bramble above are slimy and moldy and wet as you continue the line, and eventually you guys catch up to Mira, who is standing before what looks to be a notice board in the middle of the path. It is overgrown with vines and moss covered. The vines cover what would have been like where you would be posting advertisements and things of that. She's standing right in front of it.
You guys are seeing this too, right?
It seems oddly out of place. Willa goes ahead and, you said there's vines covering it?
Mm-hmm.
Willa takes out her little dagger, and she starts cutting a little bit of the vines horizontal across the top, just to see if there would be anything underneath them.
Roll strength.
Strength. Okay. Got a 25.
you're able to cut these vines down with pretty much of ease, and in a dark brownish, crimsonish color is one word, and it says Buxton.
Buxton.
Is that a name?
Wasn't that the manor?
Are you asking me or are you asking the party?
The party.
It was, yeah.
That was the manor, wasn't it? Where we stayed?
What manner?
It
The
was.
one where they found me.
Oh
That was
yeah,
before my time.
it's me and Tara that was there.
Yeah, but
Trick was there too.
that's really weird. I don't see
Well-
why that would be. Maybe it's a different Buxton.
I wonder if the vampire's here too. And she winks at Trig.
Trig, did you know? I mean, what does that mean? Is it a family name? What is it?
I'm guessing it was the family name of whoever owned or built that manor. To be honest, I have little to no memory of what happened there, but I don't recall Buxton being of any importance except for the name of the manor.
You don't know anything about them though?
Sorry, love.
I mean, I guess he was a slave there, technically. A
You
mind
were a slave?
I find it really hard to think that you would be enslaved to anybody.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time.
Well, we don't exactly have time right now. Can Willa see anything in the distance that would look like a house or anything, or is it just this random sign in the middle of the jungle?
The random sign in the middle of the jungle.
Does the path continue, or does the path stop at this?
Yep. The path continues behind the sign.
Might as well keep following it. I mean, if you guys have already been there before, you at least know some information about the place, so it's better than wandering through the jungle.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so you guys head and continue through the pathway, a little on edge about what you're seeing, and then eventually you come across what sounds like rain or thunder or something along those lines. But as you head down the path, you realize that it's not rain, it's not thunder, it is a waterfall. There is a waterfall that you come to on this pathway, and a small little crystal clear lagoon. Echoing are sounds of clinging of iron together, wood bashing, arrows flying, and then they dissipate. It's a weird echo.
That sounds like a scrimmage, but an echo of one, as if it's played out and it's on a loop. You know what I mean?
I think
Something
I do. I don't know, it's really weird. This whole place is really weird.
Getting closer to the lagoon, is there anything she can see either in the water or around it that would hint to any scrimmage or fight happening here?
Weirdly enough, there really is just this small little lagoon with this waterfall behind it. But if you want to go deeper, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
$15.
So you're kind of like looking around the lagoon and the crystal clear water. You can see to the bottom, and it's just stones and seashells and other things like that. The water looks very inviting, but as you look up and see where the water's coming from the waterfall, you see that there is some sort of old door on the backside of the waterfall.
Hey guys, there's a door, and she's sort of gonna point towards it.
Should we knock?
We have to go through the waterfall to get to it, correct?
Correct.
I mean, does anybody feel like swimming?
Sarah's jumped in. So dive. Yep.
Okay. So you all enter the water.
Yeah, I guess so. She's gonna follow Sarah.
We gotta find some way
Am I
off this
taking any
place.
damage from this?
Since it's not moving water, no, you're fine.
Then
Um,
yes, I follow everyone in.
okay. So you cross this lagoon, and then you manage to. There is like this kind of platform, on the other side behind the waterfall where the door is, and as you kind of all climb up onto this kind of landing, it's wet and a little moist, and two torches light up in an eerie green glow.
Well, this couldn't mean anything bad, can it?
I don't know. I would ask the magic users.
I'm going to do, this is probably dumb, but use detect magic.
Okay. So the detection of magic in the area, you feel your the normal spell. It feels funny, like almost like your hands fall asleep as you cast this, meaning that your magic it's wild here. This place is built on magic.
Huh. This place is magic as fuck. No, not this place, the whole of the place. This is a magical continent thing. Neverland is magical. That's what I'm trying to say. So it probably is magic. And she knocks.
Do you look at the door or anything like that for any?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
I would
Yeah. Investigation.
look out for that. 9.
So just kind of overglancing the door, you see that there's a beautiful iron handle, and there's a knocker on the front of the door, and intricately carved is this beautiful cursive R.
Takes a step back. She's like, after everybody else with this door. R. What color's the door? This brown?
Yeah, it's like an oak covered in moss. Okay. From the other side of the door, though, there is a sound, a melody. Something is on the other side of the door playing music.
Does sound like there's somebody in there. There's music, so it can't be that bad if they have music. It's not like I'm a villain music. It's whimsical, I would say.
I think we should just knock. I mean, we've come this far, and I don't really know where else we could go. We need somebody to help us.
Not to
We can't-
mention,
Go ahead, Ren.
I don't think we can judge a person on who they are based on the music that they listen to. I'm pretty sure you, Sarah, would listen to this kind of music as well.
Oh, of course. And then lure people into my trap and eat their souls.
Exactly!
I don't eat souls, don't worry.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
I can't lie.
still, like, trying to diffuse the tension going on. It's like, I think knocking's a good idea. I mean, it might be something bad on the other side, but at least we're being polite.
Sure.
So you knock on the door. Nothing comes that answers the door, but the music still plays on the other side.
Should we just go in?
I'd rather be invited somewhere. But
Okay.
you could definitely sure try. You're definitely human, so it might work for you.
I'm not sure if being human matters so much in this place.
Do I recognize the tune that's being played, or is it completely foreign?
It sounds hauntingly familiar.
I start humming along with it. Not knowing I am, but I'm humming along with it. If there's lyrics, probably singing the lyrics.
Do you know the song?
Oh, yeah, I do.
It's familiar for everyone except for Mira and Lila.
I think I know the song too. That's weird. Where would I have heard this?
Oh. Maybe it has something to do with the Buxton Manor. I mean, that's where we saw the sign.
That's true. That's a good point. And well, I think we should go in.
Just waltz right in.
Well, I mean, I guess we could knock again, but nobody came to the door. I mean, maybe nobody's in there. Maybe it's just music. Who knows?
Willa shakes her head and she walks up to the door and she starts pounding on it and saying, "Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?"
No one comes to the door.
Well, I tried. Anyone's free to waltz in.
Does anybody know anybody with the first name R by chance?
I know multiple people with the name of R, but none of them I've ever heard are connected to this Buckstand place.
What about Neverland? Neverland.
I've never heard about it. Never studied it. Never. I don't know. Sounds oddly like a kid's story. You don't usually find places called Neverland in normal society.
And where you've already landed.
Well, Tara, do you want to open the door?
I mean, I will if nobody opposes. I guess so. And she's gonna glance around at everyone and shrug and walk up and open the door, or tug on it to see if it'll open.
Okay. So the door opens, and the music floods throughout the area. This hauntingly weird music plays as the scene before you goes out. You hear a woman humming in the distance at the end of this cave, and a bright white flash of lightning happens, and the interior of the cave transforms into the lobby of the Ravenwood Manor. The huge front staircase with the beautiful window that outlooked where Melanie and her husband had walked through the gates to the heavens of sort. But eventually that all goes away in another lightning flash. And you're left with just a cavern.
What was that?
Oh,
What kind of your house?
that was my. I think that was my family's manor.
Wait, I thought we burned down your house.
No, not Nix's house. My actual parents.
Oh. Okay.
Well, that could have been our way back. Oh shit.
I don't understand. I have no idea. Was it even real? Was it just a vision?
You said Neverland is magic, so maybe it's all just an illusion. I've heard that kind of magic exists, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm
It's a
gonna.
whole school.
Yeah, I'm gonna close the door and look at the other side to see if the R is still there.
The R is still there.
Well, R for Ravenswood.
That would make sense.
There. That's the thing.
Do we keep going forward?
Into the
In the
cave.
cave?
I mean, do you guys have a better idea?
Did the
No.
path stop at the lagoon? It seems the path led us to here.
This is some maze. That's not a maze. Something's toying with us, I feel.
I don't like this. I'm gonna close the door and open it again.
Same thing.
Just the cave.
Right?
Let's go forward.
Yeah,
Maybe there's an exit.
I
So you guys-
agree.
Enter the cave, and the door closes behind you. You can still see in this cave. It has just a weird light, but where the source of light is coming from, you don't know. When you turn to look where the door was, it is now solid stone. And you guys continue down the cave. After a little bit, every time you turn around, the cavern walls are just right behind you, almost pressing you forward into the depths of the cave. Eventually, you come across what looks like to be a graveyard, but it's all stones. It's just weird, jagged stones coming out of the ground, and you hear a faint growling sound in the distance.
Willa still has her bow up, and she points it in the direction of the growling.
I'm gonna get my crossbow out and ready.
Does this look familiar at all?
Some of you.
I was gonna say, I think I know what it is, but Mira doesn't.
Sarah's gonna be like, that growl is not a good growl. It's killed somebody before. We should just keep going.
Wait,
What do you mean?
I don't like this, whatever this is. Bad dog, hellhound, bad
Oh.
doggy.
A
oh.
hellhound?
You guys ran into a hellhound?
Yeah.
Remember that dead dwarf I mentioned?
Wait, what?
Yeah?
We should keep going.
It might want the body.
Eventually, you start hearing the footsteps growing closer and closer to you, and then barking sounds, and you see the shadowy dog-like hellhound come bracing towards you guys as quick as flight. And eventually, right before it gets to you guys, it just disappears into a shadow. And at the end of this underground rocky cavern, there is one gravestone at the end, and there is a short, shadowy figure right next to it.
Oh boy.
Hello?
Hello?
It does not answer you.
What?
Maybe we should put the body there.
Is that your friend?
I don't know. I'm gonna take a short step closer and investigate the figure to see if it looks like Victor or anyone we know.
Roll perception.
Mira's gonna have her crossbow trained on it.
22.
Okay, so you come you come toward it, and it does look like Victor. But just as you approach it and getting closer, it vanishes. But then you hear the sound of rocks moving, and a staircase descends right in front of the grave, as if a staircase down below into the grave.
The minute the stairwell comes up, Mira's gonna freeze for a second and just be like, none of this feels right.
That was him though. Or it was a figment of him. I mean, that was Victor.
I know I'm new to this group, guys, and I haven't quite gone through everything that you guys have. But where was the last time we saw a staircase in a very weird place just randomly pop into being?
You're right.
But Willow wants to look around. Is there anywhere else, or is it just like a little cave and then the only... Okay.
Yeah.
Can Willow start to look around at the walls to see if she sees anything that looks out of place? Like she's going to start bapping the wall and see
Just
if
feels
anything...
flat. Yeah, there's no...
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Sarah's-
that's our only way out, guys.
Sarah's looking down the hole and be like, who wants to do the depths of hell with me? I was kidding. It's not really hell.
I don't really think that's very funny, Sarah. I'll go with you.
We can't split up.
Yeah, everybody be on your guard. Because while this might not be the place I'm thinking it is, it doesn't necessarily seem like a good place to be.
So you guys descend the steps, and it's getting brighter and brighter, and eventually you start hearing the sound of the waterfall again, and then you come to an outcropping of the exact landing behind the waterfall, but no doors behind you and no eerie green porches.
Oh, well, that worked out rather well. I look through the... I go back to the waterfall. Do I see a path ahead?
Mm-hmm.
She's like waiting up the lagoon and be like, hey, the path's back. I think we made it. She's gonna swim to shore.
Is that the same path that we just came from, though?
There's a new path.
Okay, so it doesn't look like the old one. Okay. Willa gets in the lagoon and swims to shore.
You guys head down the path?
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually, after being a little damp from the lagoon, you slowly start to dry off and continue down the path. And then you come across, in the middle of the road, a wagon. It looks to be some sort of circus almost wagon with bars, like a cube where you would imprison someone, overgrown with like lush vegetation and vines and things like that.
That's
How
weird.
strange.
Does it
Is
look
there-
like? Does it look like the wagon has been here for a while, or does the vegetation just grow that quickly?
The vegetation grows that quickly.
Is there anything inside the cart?
Just dust, dirt, and debris.
What kind of debris? Is there anything that pops out that looks not like normal? Okay.
That's also weird. Does anybody have a pass with the circus?
No.
Did you guys run into a circus or something after we left Ravenswood?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever been to a circus.
Have to deal with... She's like looking at it a little bit closer. Any cages?
It doesn't necessarily mean it's from the circus. It could be something like a jail traveling wagon. prisoners.
Yeah.
You guys taken to prison or something? Like, this all seems to be based off of you guys.
I mean, somebody was taken to prison.
Who?
Oh. Keith.
Yeah.
K3?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sitting here for years doesn't know any of this.
And that's how we met Shin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh. Weird. I just keep walking.
Mira's gonna try to touch it. Does it like dissipate like every other shadowy figure, or is it actually physically there?
It feels physically there.
Your friend got in a lot of trouble, didn't she?
Yeah.
Feisty.
Yeah.
She was. I didn't know that she went to prison, though.
Yep. That's kind of what started the whole ordeal.
Well, let's keep going forward. What happened next in your guys' story? I mean, it was before I came along.
Well,
So
it
you guys,
was,
go ahead.
if I remember correctly, it was them getting, or Key3 getting arrested and meeting Shin, which brought us to Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then everything happened with Fiona.
let's keep going.
Trey, can you roll a perception check for me?
Certainly, bear with me one moment.
Sure.
That is a nat 1.
Okay. So what you're not able to see it, but something sends an absolute shiver down your spine. It's almost like a intrusive thought interrupts your train of concentration, but soon it dissipates almost immediately. As you guys head down this pathway, eventually you come across what looks to be a small grove with a dead, huge tree, almost looks like a banyan tree, jutting from the ground, and hanging from its limbs are skeletons.
Hanging tree? I wonder if this is the witches that were hung?
Were they hanging witches in Salem?
I don't know, I think they were burning them.
Yeah.
Well,
Huh.
they burned them in my village. I don't know about anywhere else.
How were the... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are they hanging by vines or like by nooses?
By nooses.
Oh, okay.
How were they taking care of the sacrifices for the males? Were they being hung, or... I can't remember.
Just in Salem, they were. I mean, they were burned in the street, hung for all to see. Like it was just the mass genocide of witches in Salem.
Oh, I meant the girls' sacrifices to get the power to pass on to the next Supreme.
It was done by a knife, sacrificial knife.
Yeah, I thought they had their throats slit.
Um, in the trees, these skeletons, they seem to be wearing animal hides. Of the people. One looks like animal skin or like fox skin. Another one has bears. There are two that are hung together. They look to be dark shades of like gray and raccoons. And then there's one at the top that's small and it looks to be like rabbit fur. But then in the center of the tree, there's one that's not being hung by anything, but there's a figure, and it looks like an owl. This figure is alive, and it has a hood up. And looking at this owl creature is kind of terrifying. At first, maybe it's a small owl bear cub or something like that, but eventually it starts crawling down the tree, and then it stops and it cocks its head and it looks at you.
Cock my head back and speak. Ow, I go, Papa!
Don't tempt it. Its mother must be nearby.
I tilt my head the other way, see if it does the same.
It slowly starts getting closer towards you.
Willa pulls, she readies her bow to shoot at it.
Hurt it.
You're gonna shoot the cub?
It kind of moves its arms out, and you see the wings under kind of moved out. It looks like it's getting ready to draw something out of. It looks to be wearing some type of leather satchel or sack, and it looks like it's getting ready to attack you.
Mira's gonna instantly pull out her shield and sort of get in front of the group and just like very tentatively from behind the shield just be like, are those your friends? Seems like
It
they had something horrible happen to them.
it stops, and it kind of just like puts its arms back down at its side, and it cocks its head the other way, curious of you.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
As you get closer to it, it steps back closer to the tree.
Mira puts down her shield and just sort of offers out a hand and is like, it's okay, we can protect you.
Um, it reaches back into its satchel and brandishes what looks to be a sword.
She moves her hand back and sort of picks up her shield and is like, we don't want to hurt you.
You can see that in its stance, it is not a skilled fighter.
Trig is gonna bend down almost so that way he's closer to its height. And he's again gonna kind of like hold his hand out but not extending it, just kind of like a palm up like you would do with a dog.
It quivers with the weight of the sword, and then he puts it back into its sheath, and um, it takes its head off, like lifts its mask, and you see that it's a young boy. It's Noah, and he goes, "Craig."
Trig isn't gonna say anything, he's just gonna open his arms for a hug.
Noah?
He goes, and he kind of cautiously steps forward, and he goes, "How do I know it's just not Neverland's deceit? Are you really there?"
We're here, Noah.
Yeah, it's really us. If we can prove it to you somehow, we will. But we've been seeing stuff too. Are you real?
Well, I think so.
We ever real?
How did you get here?
We were blown in by a storm. How did you get here?
By a boy. He came to my window when you all abandoned me. He took me here.
Abandoned you?
Does your mom know you're here?
My mom? I don't have a mother.
Yeah, yes, you do. Ronnie.
Honey?
You have a dad too.
I don't have any parents.
Do you still write stories?
How, how do you know that? It really is you?
Yeah, you used to read them to us.
That sounds familiar. Stories, yeah.
Yeah,
I was brought here, and Peter had me read stories to... And he looks up at the skeletons hanging in the tree. To them.
To the Lost Boys.
The who?
The lost place. Taken here by Pan to escape our world.
That's probably for the best then.
Not if they ended up like that.
Well, obviously. Where do you live now if you don't live back in our world?
Here, on Hangman Street. I used to live with people, and Peter, he was gonna go do something a couple days ago. He was gonna petition something called the First.
Peter, like Peter Pan?
Yeah, he's the one who took me to Neverland.
He's been gone for like 4 days. That's at least what the mermaids say.
Talk to the mermaid.
Oh yeah, they're like cousins.
They like games.
So you don't remember your life before?
Maybe.
Well, you like to write stories. I think your father wrote stories too.
That that sounds right. He used to tell me about this place. Pirates and fairies and mermaids and yeah. Yeah, I did have a father.
But you don't remember your mother. She's probably really worried about you.
No, I don't have a mother. She
Who
abandoned me too.
told you? Who told you that we abandoned you?
Well, after you guys didn't come back after the ball, I assumed so.
No, we didn't. We kind of got, again, picked up and we didn't know that we were gone. I mean, how long have you been here?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I bet your mom's worried about all of us.
Why would a mother abandon their child?
Why do you think she abandoned you?
Just what I remember. I remember being alone. And that's when Peter came.
Did your mom get taken by somebody? You think? Was she a magic user?
No. No. I don't
When
remember. I don't know.
when Peter found you, were you still at the Broken Wheel or were you somewhere else?
I was at home in my room. I think. Can't remember.
Look, I don't think your mother abandoned you. We didn't mean to, and I I don't think Ronnie would do that.
She loved you, Noah.
Maybe.
You
Well, you know that.
you have a mother that you should go back to.
Let I go back. Peter doesn't let us go back.
Peter's not here, is he?
No, but he was going to do something about it.
Do
About
something
not going back?
about what?
Something. Pirate Captain Hook. He wanted to destroy Neverland. He would never let me see him, and anytime he came, he always had to hide. And Peter wanted to put an end to this. Captain Hook's the one who killed my friends.
Oh.
Captain Hook did this?
Yeah.
But
But-
they're all boys.
Why would
Young-
he?
I don't know.
Are there any of you left?
No, it's just me and Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell. They told me about her. Where is she?
Hiding. She doesn't like girls.
Well, I'm not really a girl sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but Faye, you know, a little weird.
Do you have a safe place to stay? We've been seeing a lot of weird stuff happening in the forest, and we don't want to necessarily barge in on you, but do you have any idea what's going on?
All I remember is that Peter told me to stay here until he got back, and to never leave. He said he was coming back after he petitioned the first.
What if he doesn't come back, Noah?
Well, I guess I'm used to people not coming back for me.
We came back for you,
After a long time.
but we still
had-
came back.
No control over that.
So Peter will come back.
Why don't you stick with us?
Like that.
You cut out.
Yeah, okay. I like the sound of that.
You can be part of our monster hunting group. I know you always wanted that.
Yeah, but I didn't want it to be like this. I didn't expect so much death.
No one
Come with the
expects it to
territory.
be like that.
Well, if anyone's gonna have an idea on how to get off this island, Peter or Captain Hook.
Is there anybody else we can speak to on this Neverland?
Never really met anyone else.
What about your friend Tinkerbell? Has she had anything to tell you about, how to get out?
Or at least someone else to talk to.
Yeah, she doesn't really speak though. She just kind of plays charades. Kind of sick of playing games too.
Well, then come with us. We won't play games. We haven't played games in a long time.
Okay. Well, then let's play a game of finding Peter and getting out of Neverland.
Sounds like the perfect game. Get out of here.
Well, I can tell you what I know about the first.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, what is that?
A direction, anything.
Well, from the stories that I heard, the first star, well, first. They're the first inhabitants of Neverland, the first spirits of this place, ancient. They were here before the mermaids, and the pirates, and the fairies, and the dreams. Whatever Neverland was when it was born, we are all a result of it. And you. I was told that the first don't really look like men or fairies or mermaids or pirates or animals or insects or fish or plants. They look like nothing but also everything. And they don't talk or listen to reason. They just do things that are for their own unknowable reasons. Big, scary things.
Do they kind of look like shadows?
No,
No.
Big scary things like what?
I don't know. They just they do things for whatever they want. I've never actually seen them, just heard about them. But the people that might know more about them, there is this shaman. She lives in the forest. Her name is Tiger Lily. She might know more about how to find them. I can take you.
More friends is always welcome.
Okay. Oop, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Let me just grab Tink, and I'll be right back.
You might also want to grab if you guys have any weapons, just in case, you know.
All I have is my father's sword.
I think you'll be good.
So he climbs into a little hole in the tree, and you hear rummaging around and stuff. And eventually he climbs back out, and you see this little ball of golden light kind of follow after him. It's bright, almost looks like a sun that follows him. And then eventually, as he gets closer, you see that there's a humanoid figure on the inside of it, a small pixie look. Little bits of like stardust kind of glitter off of her as she flies around, and she says, "Tinkerbell, okay, you have to behave. These are friends. They're gonna be okay." And she kind of like looks at you all very like disdainly, um, and and Noah looks back up to her and she's like, "Just it's okay." And then she goes and she sits on Noah's shoulder. She's like, "Okay, are you ready?"
Yep.
Lead the way.
Okay. Noah takes you away off the path, and you start traversing yourself through the forest again as Noah takes you farther and deeper into the jungle. Eventually, excuse me, you come across a small little hut with smoke coming out of its insides. Um, he goes and he knocks on the door, and the door opens to a warm looking on the warm inside. In the center, you see that there is a woman who is cross-legged, sitting before the fire, and she has her back to you, and she says, "Oh, Noah, yes, come in, dear, and you brought friends." And Noah steps in. He looks at you guys, and you're welcome to come in. Tiger Lily, this is everyone. Tiger Lily steps up, and she turns around, and she looks at you all, and she says, "Ah, yes, I sensed that there was new people on our island. Welcome. You must be Mira, Sarah, Willa, Hera, and Trigva.
How did you know our names?
The first tells me many things. I also know that you want to find a way off this island."
So we can get back to Everas and kind of reverse the apocalypse.
Interesting. Well, I'd be happy to show you and tell you where that the first is. I know that you're looking for them. They don't appear here and there. They don't have one exact spot, but I did sense them. There was a strange vibration that I felt near the Chanting Peninsula, north of here. Noah should be able to find you or get you there.
Well, pretty awesome, actually.
On top of the first, is there any other entities on the island would take the form of black smoke?
Ah, you must have met a shadow of your past. It's usually signifying someone who is dead that you know. They appear to those who are emotionally unstable and have now to solidify the passing of these people. They're harmless, unless they get your shadow.
What do you mean?
They can take your shadow. That's why Peter came to me in the first place. Someone had taken his shadow. He went to petition first.
What happens if somebody takes your shadow?
You are now an inhabitant of Neverland and may never leave.
I need to look at Noah and see if he has a shadow.
He does.
I look at Tiger Lily. Does she have a shadow?
The only thing that can protect you from a shadow is a pixie's light. Thankfully, Tinkerbell's here for you.
Why wasn't Tinkerbell by Peter Pan when his shadow got stolen?
Tinkerbell was with Noah. Peter told me that Noah is the most important thing on this island. The verse won't tell me why. Noah just kind of like looks like shocked and like he's never heard this before.
Guess we have another question for Peter when we get to see him.
If you have any more questions for me, the first won't stay there long. Are you all rested and healed?
No.
Far from it.
Here, take some of this. And she goes over to her kettle and pours you all a little vial of a warm liquid. Drink this. Don't let it go cold. I would drink it now if I were you, as it doesn't last long outside of a fire, and it will heal you.
Mira takes it and instantly chucks it down, like straight up shots it.
So
Yep.
this liquid tastes like whatever your favorite meal is, whether it's shepherd's pie, bangers and mash, kale salad, ambrosia, like whatever is the delectable taste, blood, for instance. It warms your belly and you feel it healing from the inside.
What is this? It tastes amazing.
Well, it's my own concoction of the Abori people. I'm the last of them.
Oh. Do you need to come with us too? Actually, it might be safer, I suppose.
I am
Honestly.
safe here. Alright, well, I bid you all good luck, adventurers. Stay safe.
Thank you,
And-
Tiger Lily.
You're very welcome. And she puts her hand on Noah, and she kind of puts her hand across his face and says, "You're going to do great things, that I do know." And she all bids you all farewell as you leave her hut. Noah still looks a little shocked at all this, but he doesn't speak on it. He just is like, "Let's go."
Do you know where we're supposed to go?
Yeah, the Chanting Peninsula. It's north of here. So, you guys head forward and continue throughout the lush jungle. Eventually, you come across these jagged-looking caverns, and Noah stops and he says, "The Chanting Peninsula is on the other side of these caves. Call them the Echo Caves. I've only been here once, but I wasn't able to go further. There's something interesting about the Echo Caves.
Interesting how.
The Echo Caves only let you progress if you spill your deepest secrets."
Oh.
At this point, it's just common practice that Mira goes pale.
They say that the Echo Caves derive their name from an old saying, the deeper the lie, the more truth in its echo. I don't know what that means, though.
Is that the only way around?
Yeah, unless you want to jump to your death with these cliffs.
Nope.
Mira sort of looks at the edge, like contemplating for a second.
So
So-
we just shout our deepest secrets?
That's what I assume. Like I said, I've only been here one time, but I wasn't able to go farther.
Anybody want to give it a go? Who has a secret? Sarah's so smiling. She's like, this is great.
So I'll head in together.
Mira's sort of just going to give a very, very, like, questioning look over at Tara. Almost this look of, like, am I allowed to? Like,
Tara kind of shrugs and says, "If you have a secret that you think will make it work, I think we can probably trust each other with secrets at this point."
You technically shouldn't have any secrets at this point. And he rolls his eyes.
I didn't say I have secrets.
And I didn't say it was you that I was accusing.
Mira sort of just blurts out in the middle of this conversation, I somehow can summon darkness.
What?
Tara
Yeah, what she
gives
said.
Something happen?
So, as you guys head into the cavern, you see that there is like a few hundred feet chasm of just pitch darkness down to the depths. On the other side, you can see the exit of the cave, and for Mira, you see stones start to form and rise up from the bottomless pits of shadowy darkness, allowing for one person to step forward. Mira, I think that's your ride.
And they can't see the stones at all.
They can, but it's only big enough for one person.
It has to be our own secret.
I guess that worked.
Yeah.
She sort of goes to step out on it.
You kind of feel her a little bit, and it feels like it got you a little bit, but it definitely didn't get you farther. Almost signifying that you have to say more than just one secret. The bigger the secret, the farther you'll get across. The smaller the secret, the less you'll get across.
Why did I have her go first? Okay. She's gonna go ahead and go out. I don't. She's sort of just gonna look back. It's like I don't know what else to say. That's really the only secret I've been keeping from you guys.
Tell us something about your life that you haven't told us.
I am an orphan that was left at the Temple of Yuna. Anything happen?
And it doesn't just have to be you.
True. Sarah's gonna step over and be like, Seraphine is not my real name.
Another stone appears in front of Mira, allowing for now two people to hop across.
She hops forward.
What's your real name, Sarah?
She looks back and she's like, can't tell. Names have power.
What?
Remember that.
Not to rush you guys, but staring into a black abyss in front of me is a little nerve-wracking.
I got a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
I blame myself for my father's death.
Another stone appears, allowing for another person to cross.
Willow hops on.
Alright. I should have done more to stop Nyx from killing the boy.
Two stones appear.
She steps down onto one.
They're still, you're about a quarter of the way across the chasm.
Trig, it's your turn.
He kind of shrugs. He's like, I don't have any secrets. You all basically beat them out of me.
You don't have
Nothing at all?
anything that you could say? I mean, I stole some stuff off of Victor's body.
Two more stones appear.
Tara's not
Helen,
looking
I
at
kissed.
anybody.
A
Wait,
stone
what?
appears.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what? We're like, what?
Someone else go.
I freaked out back there because I saw the dead corpse of my ex-boyfriend.
What?
A stone appears. You're about halfway across the chasm at this point.
Sarah's gonna try. I'm doing all this so I can earn my wings?
Nothing happens.
Damn it.
To this day, I regret leaving my mother alone and only
Three.
leaving her with a note.
Three stones appear.
Sometimes I think my life would have been easier if I hadn't joined this group.
5 stones appear. Now, there are stones disappearing from the entrance gap to the other side, so it's just these floating stones. Trig and Noah are Noah's the only one on the other side who has not jumped yet.
I still don't feel like I belong to this group. We're gonna go down that road.
That's not a
Another-
secret.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Sorry. Drake.
You're such an asshole.
Oh, he is. Oh, he is. So he's gonna kind of like look up at the ceiling. He's like, Sarah has a cute ass.
I have an ass.
A stone appears.
He begrudgingly takes a step.
Why did I think that easy?
I don't
I
know
mean,
if I want my
truthfully,
memories back or not.
Another stone appears. You're about 3/4 of the way to the other side.
I carry the guilt of potentially leaving my first and only love to die in a war camp, and I didn't go back for them.
3 stones appear.
Harsh.
There's only about 2 or 3 stones left to get to the other side.
Does anybody else want to go?
I resent Yuna.
2 stones appear.
I resent not killing Gaius when I had the chance.
Another stone appears, and the rest of you guys can hop across. When you hop across, you realize that Noah has not stepped forward.
Noah. Come on. It's easy to say a truth. I do it all the time.
It's not that I don't know if I can jump across.
What do you mean?
That's a long way down.
All of us did it. Do you want me to come back for you?
You are also all adventurers.
Don't you want to be an adventurer too?
Yeah, but I'd rather be the one writing the story than the one actually in it.
Well, I think it's good to have experiences if you're gonna write a story about it. You can do it. It'll be okay.
I don't know any truths I have to tell.
You're already an adventurer. You came here by yourself. Nobody helped you besides Pan. You were the one who survived without him.
How do you
I
feel
call
about that?
I don't know. The only reason I came here was my mother. I remember her. Wanted to get away from her.
Why did you want to get away from her?
Because I blame her for letting my dad walk out on us. I'm not dumb. I know that my father is not in the war. I know that my mom was telling me all this to make me sleep at night and make me feel better, but just wish that my dad was around more and my mom wasn't so damn invested in that stupid bar. That's the reason he walked out. He wanted to see the world. He was a traveler, a dreamer, and he didn't want to be tied down to some stupid tavern. You know, our tavern used to be called the Spinning Wheel, but after he walked out, my mom renamed it the Broken Wheel because we're just some stupid broken family. It's my mom's fault. And you see stones appear for him as he's saying this, and he looks forward and he's like, okay, you can do this.
One at a time. You can do it.
Every adventure starts with one step.
He jumps forward, almost catching himself off balance, but then slowly he starts making his way across and finally gets to the other side with the rest of you guys. You can see from the dirt covered on his skin that there are tear streaks kind of going down his eyes, and he kind of takes off his owl hat and throws it down and fastens his cloak again, and he looks a little different. You can see that he's matured a little bit more, kind of that preteen stage from what you guys remember him, and kind of see that he's growing into himself, and he's like, thank you.
That was all you.
Willow wipes his cheek, like the tear off his cheek, and she says, "It was good to get everything out.
Yeah, it feels better.
Well, let's keep going, adventurer."
Okay.
Mary's going to chime in. Your dad would be proud. You just shoot him a smile.
I just wish I knew him more. All I have is left of his sword, and he like pulls it out, and he looks at it, and you kind of see him like holding onto it a lot sturdier, a lot stronger than what he was holding it before when he was trying to protect himself from you guys.
Do you
This
know
is
if
it.
he's still alive?
I feel like I would know if he's dead. I feel like he's out there. I hope that he's looking for me.
What's his name?
James.
I don't think we've come across a James. But the world's big.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, let's go, okay? So you guys head out to the other side of the cave and eventually come across this windy kind of cliffside that overlooks the cerulean ocean below, the beautiful blues. Um, you can hear kind of the beating of the wind and the seagulls and things like that as you approach the end of the pathway. There's a strange vibration that rings throughout the air, and at first you may have just dismissed it and chalked it up to the repetitive droning of waves crashing against the shore. But as you draw nearer, it sounds like words or hums. Um, this is the Chanting Peninsula. There's this blank wall of rock that stands before you. The clouds of gray, white, and eggshell and beige, and every not quite color in between drifts over each other in unhealthy layers. Fingers of mist spin out purposefully, ensnaring a tree or a rock that's and uses an anchor to crawl along further. Yet, in other places, the mist stretches thin and snaps away wherever it was before, revealing seemingly an untouched foliage and landscape beneath it. And then Noah steps forward and he goes, "This is the first.
Beautiful.
We go in.
Go find Peter.
Who's first?"
Sarah steps forward. She's like, all right, I'll do it. This looks cool. And she steps in the mist.
Okay. Anyone follow behind?
I'll follow
Lily.
behind. Yeah.
All right. Everyone else.
Yeah.
So you all go forward and let the kind of mist envelop you. Let me get this real quick. So, inside the mist itself, something seems almost not right. There are hints of pale brown or orange in some surfaces that reflects light, not from the sun, but it twinkles overhead, almost like its own sun. The first thing you notice is how it feels like nothing what you would have expected. The clouds aren't damp or cold; it's hot and dry, and it doesn't even smell like smoke either. Strange noises seem to pass your ear, making whispering sounds that you can't quite make out, almost like a distant echo of something very large pounding off in the distance. There's a rhythmic beat that had no place of origin. And eventually, this mist engulfs you, masking the entire island. There's no distance or perspective here, and eventually, the whispers disappear along with the mist, revealing what looks like a vast, dead plain or desert. Not more than 20 feet in front of you is this giant stone monolith. There is a red and orange jagged stone reaching towards the barren sky. What do you do?
Should we touch it?
You approach it?
Yeah, I'll approach it, and I guess I'll look a little closer to see if there's any markings on it that I can read.
Sure. As you approach, you hear in a very low tone, "Why are you here?" It's almost as if nothing spoke, nothing that looked like a head or a face moved on the monolith. No sound emerges from it, and yet the words reverberate across the land, echoing and unmistakable. There's no doubt that it came from the monolith.
We're looking for a Peter Pan.
Silence. And then, the problems of Peter Pan is not my concern. I send him away. What are you here? You're not from Neverland. You are older.
We hope to find a way back to our own world.
Interesting. Your world, Everas.
Yes, we sort of got whisked away here on accident. Or on purpose. We're not quite sure how it worked.
Laws, rules. Yeah, purposeful. You know, it is law created by you from the other side. I make no laws. I make no rules. I am just what I am. It is people who see to name and regulate and shape this land at their own ridiculous whims. My world is crystallizing to the point of permanence, thanks to your dreaming.
What will happen to you if that happens?
Who knows? Once, I in this world was one. But then the people came. Their dreams were simple at first, but soon came the rules and the laws and the ideas and the suspicions and the feelings and wishes and the decisions and hopes. With each one, another mountain hardened and another sea narrowed into just a river. Now you have your Neverland, and because children's dreams are the strongest, their dreams rule the world. Everywhere except here, where I still rule. I, the firstborn of Everas. You know, some children are so twisted by hate from others that they can dream of nothing but hate. Some children dream of going through a day without being whipped or beaten. Some children dream of nothing more than a full meal. They smile in their sleep as their minds conjure something that would fill their bellies if only it were real. Some dream that their parents are still alive, or at least their ghosts would come and visit them. Some dream of being able to play with their friends and go out to school, although they no longer can. The Neverland that you have just come from is a place that you all have collectively created. There are other parts of this realm that you will never see, with no fairies or mermaids, only dishes of food and clean water and kindness, or be so horrible that you would die upon viewing it. You may call it this Neverland, or I call it the Reverie.
Do you have a name besides the first?
I've been called many of things, but I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much do you care for your world, or this plane? The man called Xavier will destroy all of Everas, rather than simply quit it. Once he has the onyx heart of Oknos in his clutches, he will awaken him and the darkness will stand upon Everas. There will be no more light left. Xavier is the villain and star of so many nightmares. He was birthed from the darkness, and he will destroy your world. You cannot stop them, for I cannot go back to Everas. I was abandoned here, left by my life bringers. And without a body, I cannot cross the plains back. I am the land between plains. I am the balance of the spiral. I am Elias, son of Una and Oknos, the firstborn of Everas and god of the realm of dreams, the Reverie.
Sarah immediately gets on her hands and knees and bows. And she's like, "You're who I'm looking for.
Me. Why?
You said it yourself, your balance."
I've long since been abandoned. No one seeks balance anymore.
I do. My sisters. I've been searching for you, for anything. Just a balance between light and dark. First, it was just like defeat the darkness, but then I realized that you need both, basically. You have to have a little dark to have light, and light to have dark. You can't have too much of either side.
You are well beyond your years. Do your peers agree with you?
She'd stay silent.
Since such a disquieting metamorphosis between you all.
What can you tell me of your mother?
Una? She's beautiful. She is what brings light to our worlds. Love, hope. But just as fire brings us life and warmth, there's also destruction. She fell in love with what she created, and let my father go into a spiraling world of darkness and disdain towards all of her creation. When she took his heart and locked him in the Neverplane, he could not exist on Everas. Xavier wishes to do this. You must stop them.
That's why we have to go back.
Your friends need you. The light needs you. You are Everos's last hope.
But how do we make sure that there's not too much light and not too much dark when we get back? Is there a way?
Xavier must be stopped. Everyone has redemption, but not he.
And how do we get back?
Take the ship. We'll bring you back to Everas. Where, I do not know, but it will set you on the final leg of your journey.
The ship? What ship?
Jolly Roger. The one
The
that's in the
pirates.
bay. But I still not believe everyone is in the same playing field.
What do you mean?
not everyone agrees with what is happening.
With going back, with
With setting the world right.
We set the world right by stopping Xavier and making sure Open House doesn't come back
Yes,
and defeat the darkness.
some of you are tainted and are afraid to give that away.
I'll do what it takes to stop Oaknose.
You are the one who does not believe in my mother.
If she's supposed to bring so much light to people, why does she abandon so many of her children?
The light has been locked. Xavier did this. The more he pours into the world, the less my mother has control of Everas. It is up to people like Mira to bring them back to the world. The less people that believe in her, the more she's not going to want to help.
I did believe in her, though. I prayed to Yuna every night, asking her to help me, to get me out of Nyx's clutches, and she never did anything. She never showed up. She never answered my calls.
And who are these people that have surrounded you with? Is Nyx around? My mother works in very odd and different ways. It may not be the way that we want her to, but she got you away from her. And all of these people around you have a feeling want to get rid of her just as much as you do. But you have to stay strong and believe in yourself, and believe in the rest of your friends that you can defeat her.
with her being captured or imprisoned, like you're saying, be the reason why she hasn't talked to me?
Fortunately, there are so much hurt and hate and darkness in the world that my mother cannot answer everyone. That is the job of her fairies. But the fairies are afraid too.
I guess I never really thought of it that way. But what I went through, like you said, there are so many other people in the world that are suffering. If I can stop somebody else from having to go through that, if we can bring your mother back, if we can bring Yuna back, I will do whatever it takes.
Good. Glad that you said that. I do have to tell you all one thing. You all are going to die in order to save the world. The final leg of this journey will result in the finality of your lives. And then a dog appears.
Yeah.
The
Sarah
hellhound.
just looks up and she's gonna be like, she's gonna nod in agreement. She's like, to whatever end, then if I have to give my life to save the world, I'll do it gladly.
Spoken like a true hero. I'm sorry. But if you do not do this, your friends, Everas, will be gone. There will be nothing forward to look forward to.
Then we must do it for them.
Sacrifice is worth millions of lives.
You know, I've spent this whole time trying to find a way to survive. But you're right, I did get away from Nyx, and we've had so many experiences together. If that's what has to happen, I guess that would be a life worth living.
Glad you understand this. It is not
Die.
easy to know that your life will end. But that's why you must make the most of it.
Sacrifice ourselves to save the world. What must we do?
The ancient prophecies have foretold that 5 will give up their lives to the Green One to seal away Okeanos forever.
That's what was depicted on the wall.
Yes.
So that wall, it wasn't opening it for Okeanos to come in, it was sealing him away?
Yes. But the
That
Green
means the
One,
dagger isn't bad.
the dagger must have been taken to initiate the cleansing. The world must be restarted, rebirthed.
So you didn't necessarily end the world, you are helping it rebirth?
Exactly.
Well,
And No one will remember.
Even the ones that know us?
Even the ones who know you.
They will have no memory of us at all? I guess it's less painful that way.
You have time here in the reverie. Stay as long as you wish. Ask me anything your heart desires, for I will help you as much as I can.
How do we kill Xavier?
Xavier has port, each with designed abilities that are different than the rest. Stop them, you falter Xavier.
So there's Tremaine. He's already been told to us that she's part of the court.
Yes,
She mentioned other people, but I don't remember names. You guys?
I don't.
one of them killed your friend's family. He goes by Pinnacle.
Keith Reese.
Alright, that's 2. Do you know who the other are?
The next one has the ability to resurrect the dead.
Next.
Oh.
That would be Nyx. That makes sense. I kind of suspected that she had a hand in this after we learned about the parasite.
And the last is the green one.
Who's this green one you keep talking about?
You've met
Really,
them.
everybody else had a name.
We've met them?
You have?
It's Lady A.
What?
He goes by
Nathaniel.
Lady A, but his birth name is Nathaniel. He's been corrupted by Xavier. He's wicked, but that's because he was thrust upon him. No one
Is there a
born
way
wicked.
to.
That is, no one is born wicked.
Can we uncorrupt him? As you said,
Everyone is redeemable, only if they are willing.
because he would have. He's the one to close the door, the gate.
Exactly, young Willow. He will be the one to bring you salvation.
So, it's not a matter of just taking out these figures, is it? More complicated than that. We have to redeem them.
Exactly. You have a choice. You can end it, or have them be redeemed, and forgive them, and they can forgive you.
Seems simple enough.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course, Michelle. Ask away.
You wouldn't happen to know how to get rid of this parasite, would you?
You?
What do I need to do?
Well, you'll have to remove your magic. But there is hope. If you can remove and separate the magic from the parasite, you can still gain some of your magic, for you have 2 inside of you. One of my cousin, Obsidius. He may be of nightmares, but I may be of dreams. I can help you with that.
I'll do it.
I must warn you. There is a high chance that you might die because of this. The removal is not easy.
What exactly does it entail? It
I
doesn't
told you.
really sound pleasant.
It is like falling asleep.
Tara,
Yeah?
I know this is going to be hard for you, but you gotta think about what Elliot said. You could turn into a husk by accidentally using the spell. Why not try to get rid of it and try this?
But what if it
And
doesn't
then in the
work? What if it just kills me anyways? And then who will be
Yep.
the 5 to who will be the 5th person to stop Ognos?
We'll worry about that. But if you are supposed to be the 5th person, then this won't kill you. Have faith in Luna. that it won't. Because she's the one who brought you to us, and us to you.
Willa speaks truth.
I'll try. I will try to trust it. If this is what we have to do, then we have to do it, and I'll do it.
Do you have your sorcery amulet?
Yeah, I do.
Place
Does
it
she
on.
have to do this alone?
Yes. Place the sorcery amulet inside of the monolith here.
She takes it out and hugs it close, and takes it off of her head and sets it down on the monolith.
A yellow light appears, almost like a portal or a gate. He says, "Step inside."
Mira's gonna grab her before she goes inside. And just sort of hold her both by hands, just like, you got this. We'll be waiting on the other side for you.
She's gonna hug Mira, and then step back and look at everyone and say, "Look, about what I said in the secret cave. Sometimes I do think that, but I am really glad that I know all of you. And joining this group is the best thing that ever happened to me. Okay, I want you to know that.
You're gonna come back, don't worry.
Just in case. And also, I mean, that was a lot of secrets, so, okay. I'll see you on the other side." And she
Step forward.
steps into the light.
Immediately you're engulfed in warmth. You see this cloud heaven of sunsets or sunrises. Beautiful fireflies dance around you as this endless waterfall cascades around you. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life. There's a stairway that leads up, and a woman in white descends. She's wearing a wedding gown, and she steps forward, she lifts her veil, and it's your sister. She reaches out to your hands, and she grasps onto this. She says, "Hera, so happy that you finally come home."
Melanie, I don't understand. I don't want to die yet.
She pulls her in for a hug, and you feel the warmth of Melanie grasp onto you, and the smell of lilac and gooseberries envelop you. And she lets away, and she says, "You have a choice. You can come home with me, or you can go home to your friends. All you have to do is turn around. Just know that I'm so proud of you, and I wish I got to know you more. You're my big sister. And fortunately, our father decided to take our lives into his own hands. I wish I got to know you. I would love to know you in the endless abyss above, and be home with Yuna and Mother. But I know that your time is not now. I cannot be selfish."
Did you have a good life?
Yes, Thomas is very good at making me very happy. And even if my time was cut short in the real world, watching down on you from the heavens above has been everything. It's like I'm getting to live another life through you.
Our parents, though, they treated you well, and you're happy?
No, father was awful.
Oh.
But thankfully I had Auntie Cleota and Mother to protect me.
I always wondered what they were like. I
We'll
never
meet
knew.
them. Eventually. Now, if you journey with me up above, or you can stay with your friends. You continue your life.
I something tells me it would probably be easier to go with you.
It will. It's like falling asleep and getting to live the best days of your life over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I think I have to take care of some business with them first. We made a commitment to each other, and they've done a lot for me. They've given me a life. I mean, I guess if you've been watching, you would know.
Yes. They are good to you. And follow Elliot's advice. Let your friends be your guiding key.
I will.
Sometimes you get to choose your family. And sometimes your family chooses you. And from what I've seen, those people have chosen you.
I think you're right, and I think I want to choose them too.
I understand. I will miss you. But I know we'll meet again soon.
Yeah, well, from what I just found out, it might not be that long. but I'm gonna try to make the rest of the time worth it.
You'll find a way. You always do.
Thanks, Melanie.
Of course. And she hugs her sister once more. I have to go now. Good luck.
Thanks. You too, and I'll see you soon, I guess.
See you soon, Tara. And she lets go of the hands, and you see she's crying. But she descends, and she stops about halfway up and turns and looks at you, and for a brief moment you see your mother. You see Madame Leota. And then you see Yuna. And then she says with one final word, I have not forgotten you, child. Have hope. And the light fades. And you step out of the monolith and rejoin your friends, feeling lighter and better. Your hair has grown back, your skin is glowing. You are now no longer in tattered, ragged clothing. You are in a beautiful gown, just as you wish, in the most amazing of armor and feelings that you have ever felt in your life, wearing a flower crown. You feel happy for the first time in your entire life. You feel complete.
She is crying. And she just smiles at her friends.
Dude, how do you feel?
Pretty good, actually. I feel pretty good.
Well, you look stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel stunning, too.
Willa goes up to Tara and gives her a hug. And she says, I knew you could do it. I knew you could have faith to come back to us.
She hugs Willa and says, yeah, it felt like the right thing to do. It's what I want. This is what I want.
I'm glad.
You are all bonded together. You are a family. Where you have lows, another one will have highs. And they will bring and support each other to the very end. I wish there was more that I could do for you. But just know that the fate of Everas is in your hands.
Thank you.
Of course. There's one more thing to discuss, and it's with Noah. Noah, would you step forward? And Noah, he, for just being in awe of everything, he steps forward and he's like, what do you need? And then you don't hear anything. But then, as if Noah's having a conversation with the monolith, Noah says, okay. Yeah. Do what you have to do. And Noah, he turns around and he looks at you all and he says, I'm part of the truest believer. And oh my god. What? Oh no.
I thought she saw a ghost.
Is something burning?
I hope
I'm
not.
trying to look in the window to see
I
the
hope she's
reflection.
okay.
It does look like something's burning. I can see smoke.
I don't know.
I'm sure
no.
she's got it under control.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was scary.
You all good?
Are you okay?
What was burning?
You okay?
How did you know it was burning?
I could see in the reflection of your window.
What happened? Are you alright?
I lit Allie's candle, and the orange and lavender caught the entire flame, like the cup's entire flame thing with fire, and I have my little mannequin dude next to it, and it caught fire too. It's okay, it's out.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, are you okay?
Yeah.
That's witchcraft, baby.
Oh
I
my
am
god.
so sorry.
You burned
okay.
your mannequin?
I burned my mannequin.
Little mini burning man?
Oh no.
It's okay, it's out.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, your cat just sat there on the couch the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, okay, we can continue, so I'm sorry.
I had a ghost. I was like, oh my god.
I'm just glad you're safe. That was weird.
Sorry.
Noah, he says I've been told that I have the heart of the truest believer, and that Elias can come with us, but he would take over my body.
And you're okay with that?
He says that I will serve a bigger purpose if he can return.
I mean, having the literal balance between light and dark on our world would be encouraging throughout all this. But that's all up to you, of course.
I would take his place here.
Oh. You'd be in prison forever.
But he said that it might be possible for you guys to live.
But then you'd be here.
But
Noah, you're just a child.
yeah, and I always did want to write stories, and what better way to write stories than influence children's dreams?
But your mom.
She'll understand.
I think you'd be good at it.
He said I had time to think about it.
Okay.
But I don't know. I do want to see my mom. I want to apologize for resenting her.
Is there a way you can do that?
We got to get this Jolly Roger and get back home then. But Elias also said that there's someone else in Neverland that needs to return home too.
Do we know who?
Said her name is Ursula.
Her. She's with the mermaids back at the lagoon.
Then we have to take her home too.
That'd be fun. Taking a mermaid with us.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's go fight some pirates.
And I'm going to start heading off in the direction of the misty, swirling portal. One by one you step through, and Noah takes a moment. And
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sarah's gonna ask one more question to the
Sure.
monolith after everybody kind of left a little bit.
Sure.
She's gonna go to Elias, be like, if I do die, what would happen to Summer? I think we lost him.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. A little notifications on my internet just went out for a second. So, Elias responds. He says, "The cycle will begin, and another one will be chosen."
She nods and then bows. I'm like, well, we might be seeing you again. And she walks to the mist.
Noah grabs Sarah's hand and just like holds on to it for like reassurance, and he
She-
steps in with.
Nods.
All right, so we'll end tonight's session there.
Dude.
You're gonna die, but maybe not.
I teared up like 3 times. I almost cried. I almost really cried.
I did.
I know. That was beautiful, Trey. That was so wonderful.
For Tara and her story arc, like finally she's become who she's meant to be.
That was so
The song-
beautiful.
Goes out to Tara. This ending credit song.
Ugh.
But yeah, that was an emotional one.
Great.
By the way, I'd like the parallels to the Void, though I was getting a little PTSD there for a second.
Yeah, well, it's the opposite of the void. It's a reverie, a place of dreams, place of nightmares. So
That's one of my favorite episodes we've ever played. I loved the secrets to get through the cavern. That was so cool.
That was fun.
good. I just love this song. I'm just imagining. And yeah, that's
I can't get over it. That was so beautiful.
Tara's arc slowly coming to an end, and yeah, the realization that she she can still be good, and she accepted the Ravenswood magic inside of her and got rid of Obsidius and Nyx's poison.
That's a huge deal.
Oh, absolutely. That's huge. But do we have any questions, comments, or anything we want to go over? Clarifications?
I'm sure I'll have a lot, but we'll talk this week.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
So,
Alright,
at some point, whether it is next session or what, Drake wants to have a one-on-one with Noah about this fucking choice.
if he's
Yeah.
already chosen it.
I mean, it makes sense for the vampire to have this discussion like, hey, this is a big choice.
Definitely one of those, like, hey, we're old. We're adults. Don't, like, throw your life away when you have all of this. I mean, who's gonna tell our story if not the best writer? Like, come on.
True. Noah, in his mind, he wants to do something for you guys since you did something for him. That's kind of where and you remember, he's a preteen, so like preteens, they make very rash decisions. You know, not always based on. Yeah, that would be a good conversation for Trig and Noah to have.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Mira is fully on board with this sacrificing herself shit, guys.
Oh.
Would Key3 be?
Oh, Key3 probably. But the problem is with Key3, while she would be willing to sacrifice herself, do you really think she's going to let the killer of her family be redeemed?
That's the biggest thing is if you gotta forgive, but like you want them to forgive you, but can you forgive them?
So, well, Mira might not be like, ooh, yeah, let me just give up my life. That might take some explaining. Key3 would be willing to, but she wouldn't be willing to do necessarily what's needed beforehand.
Exactly. I feel that.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So who all is on the Court of Night? It's Xavier, Nyx, Nathaniel,
And Teneko.
and
Lady
Teneko.
Tremaine.
And Lady Tremaine. Okay.
So 4.
5.
There are four, but Xavier is like the leader.
Okay.
And then, so, Xavier, the 4, and then all their underlings.
Pretty much.
That's funny that there's 5 of them. There's 5 of us.
And that's also why I didn't describe the mural and what the 5 dead bodies looked like.
Did they look like us?
No, I'm not saying what they look like, because
Okay.
exactly what you just said was what I was hoping that you possibly would get, is that maybe you could redeem them and they would sacrifice their lives, or have a way to trick them into sacrificing their lives
But see, the problem is with that, they all have to be redeemed.
in order to do so.
It's been said that Xavier can't be redeemed, so there's still one spot open.
Oh, lordy.
There's technically 2, because the green one is the one who does it.
That is true. So there's 2 missing dead people there.
And there's another person on the Court of Night
There's a 6th.
that you haven't met yet.
And this is going to be interesting because if we do end up having to sacrifice ourselves, it's not that Trig is against the sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice for selfish reasons, so I don't think it actually fits the bill.
And everyone
How is
sacrifice
it-
be for selfish reasons?
Sorry, run that by me again?
Wouldn't all sacrifices be for selfish reasons?
Well, it's not like, oh, I'm going to give my life for the betterment of this world. It's more of a, okay, I'm done with this. Make it stop.
Like a suicide, almost. A hero's suicide or something. Yeah, no, I get it. You all have some time, but we've officially entered Act 3. That was Chapter 31.